finally gets to bottom of Lynch-Clinton Tarmac meeting. New details emerge about the Tarmac meeting between former Attorney General Loretta Lynch and former President Bill Clinton. The meeting took place in Phoenix in June 2016, right before Department of Justice was about to decide if former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton revealed classified information when she used her private email account. Insider Fox News reports, due to a Freedom of Information Act request from the American Center for Law and Justice, ACLJ, the DOJ released 413 pages of documents related to the June 27, 2016 meeting. According to the documents, reporters didn't want to cover the meeting and Lynch didn't use her real name for official DOJ emails, even those regarding the meeting. According to Trump's lawyer Jay Sekulow, the documents reveal the emails between the FBI and the DOJ, and the DOJ and the White House, related to the meeting. Insider Fox News reports, "We do know that this reached the FBI, the Department of Justice. At the Department of Justice, went as high as the Attorney General. At the FBI, at least to the Chief of Staff too, then FBI Director, James Comey," Sekulow said. "And we now have an email that goes from the Department of Justice to the White House, to the press secretary there." One of the people in the emails was revealed. Her name is Paige Herwig, who was a counselor to Lynch at the time. Herwig now is the attorney for the Democrats in the Senate Judiciary Committee, which is investigating Lynch. Insider Fox News reports, Sekulow also noted that the documents are heavily redacted, including an email of talking points to be used in response to media inquiries about the meeting. Sekulow is hoping to get the unredacted documents when he goes back to court because the documents were never supposed to be redacted. He is getting to the bottom of this controversial meeting. Watch more here. Trump sends feds into Michigan for ICE raid, discover America's worst nightmare hiding in plain sight. Former President Barack Obama allowed Muslim refugees to enter our country. Thanks to his policies, Michigan has become a home for Islamic extremists. Among these refugees, there are a lot of criminals who are hiding in under the guise of a humanitarian effort. Although Americans were demanding tougher control on the border, Obama didn't want to hear any of it. However, thank God Trump became president. He immediately enforced immigration laws in order to protect our country and its people. Freedom Daily reports, just recently, federal agents went into Muslim-infested Michigan to conduct a raid, and what they found was disgusting. Of course, the left is losing their mind over the fact that our laws are being enforced, but it is about time. Over the last several years, illegals have been entering the country and committing horrific crimes ranging from murder to sexual assaults. A few weeks ago, ICE conducted an 11-day raid in New York and caught a lot of bad people for sex crimes. Now, another raid was conducted, but this time it was in Michigan. During a 4-day raid, ICE discovered that almost 80% of the illegal immigrants committed crimes. This is horrible. Freedom Daily reports, of the criminal convictions, they ranged from DUI, domestic battery, contempt of court, possession of open intoxicants, criminal sexual conduct, child abuse, 4th degree, child neglect, destruction of property, domestic violence, larceny, false identity to law enforcement, and attempted identity theft, among other offenses. The 33 arrestees are from 4 countries, Mexico, Liberia, Guatemala, and El Salvador. Some of the illegals who were arrested will be prosecuted for re-entry after deportation. This felony is punishable up to 20 years jail time. However, the illegals that won't be prosecuted will be removed from the country. Operations like these demonstrate that ICE is focused on the arrest of dangerous criminal illegals. The agency will continue to protect our nation and uphold public safety. Something like this would have never happened under Obama's administration. Our country was neglected for too long thanks to the Democratic policies. However, because of our new President Trump and ICE, Our country is more protected and secure than it was before. Air Force General accurately predicts how long it would take to wipe North Korea off map. Retired U.S. Air Force Lieutenant General Tom McInerney made an announcement on Fox News on Monday. He said that if the North Korean regime decided to launch a nuclear attack on the U.S. or South Korea, the despotic regime would only about 15 minutes to enjoy it because then the country would no longer exist. If he gets our full nuclear retaliatory capability, within minutes after one round going into Seoul, there will be nothing left, McInerney told Fox's Liz Clement on Countdown to the Closing Bell. Advertisement. If you go to Airborne Alert, we used to call it Chrome Dome, with nuclear weapons, and then we start building up our other forces, etc., he will not last 15 minutes, McInerney said. The U.S. Air Force has control of all ICBMs in the U.S. arsenal. They are all prepped and ready to go at all times. As are the nuclear bombers. There are bombers that run a rotation in Guam, but the regular duty station for the nuclear bombers is Minot, North Dakota and Barksdale, Louisiana. The Washington Post announced on Tuesday that U.S. intelligence reports on the progress of North Korea's nuclear program had believed that the regime is now miniaturizing the nuclear bombs. They believe that the nation now has around 60 nuclear devices. Advertisement. McInerney gave his solution to the impending danger from North Korea. I would form a political area treaty organization, similar to NATO, he told Clement. I would have South Korea, Japan, Australia, New Zealand, Philippines, Thailand, and other countries out there form a bulwark, not only against North Korean expansion but at Chinese expansion. I would start moving in more THAAD missiles. I would put our nuclear retaliatory capability on ground alert. I would start increasing our naval and air forces in the region. What do you think of this? Breaking: Australia takes massive stand for America, puts squeeze on North Korea. Nuclear tensions between North Korea and the United States are escalating. North Korea threatened to launch a missile attack against Guam, an island territory in the Western Pacific that belongs to the USA. As a response to this threat, the U.S. President Donald Trump said that North Korea will meet fire and fury if they continue threatening our country. The whole world is watching this ongoing feud and everyone is waiting to see the next moves of both countries. If North Korea launches a missile attack, the United States will not sit and wait to see what happens next. Our country is more than ready to defend itself, even if that means the conflict may end up in war. Some countries are standing with America against North Korea and their leader Kim Jong-un. Among those is Australia. Their Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull announced that if North Korea attacks the U.S. mainland or its territories, Australia will instantly join the conflict. Breitbart reports, America remains by its partners, including Australia obviously, and we remain by the United States, Mr. Turnbull told nearby radio station 3A on Friday morning. So be sure about that. On the off chance that there's an assault on the U.S., the ANZUS Treaty would be conjured and Australia would go to the guide of the United States, as America would go to our guide in the event that we were assaulted. The Australia, New Zealand, United States Security Treaty, also known as the ANZUS Treaty, ties the U.S., Australia and New Zealand together in a pact to cooperate on military issues in the Pacific Ocean area. If any of these three countries face an attack, each country will meet the common threat. Turnbull also said that he talked about North Korea's action with the Vice President of the United States Mike Pence. According to Turnbull, it's the worst flashpoint on the planet today. He also added that the terms of the Australia-US Union are clear. But be under no misapprehension, in terms of defense, we are joined at the hip, he said. The American alliance is the absolute bedrock of our national security. If there is an attack on the U.S., we would come to their aid. Now, How that manifests itself obviously will depend on the circumstances and the consultations with our allies, according to Patriot Report. If North Korea attacks our country or any territory of ours, they will meet fire and fury, as President Trump said. We have our allies like Australia and New Zealand to defend us as well. Hopefully, more countries will follow their examples. New poll finds majority of Americans side with Trump on key issue. Are you one of them? With everything that the mainstream media pumps out over the airwaves, you would think that Trump's voters have all turned on him. The mainstream media loves pushing fake polls, like Clinton have a 96% chance of beating Trump. Well, this isn't true. It would seem that the majority of Americans do not see Trump's common-sense travel ban as a Muslim ban. According to the poll, 56% of the registered voters view the order as a terrorist hotspot restriction, while 37% said it is more likely Muslim ban. Advertisement. Although over half of those polled don't think the move was not an attempt to discriminate based on religion, a majority of the country disapproves of the executive order. The fact is, terrorists are killing us and we must stop them as much as possible. The Washington Examiner reported that 46% of Americans supported Trump's immigration order issued on January 27. Advertisement. The Anderson Robbins Research and Shaw and Company Research lead a poll of 1,013 registered voters across the country, and they conducted interviews via landline and cell phone. Moreover, the majority always sided with Trump, true patriotic Americans. President Trump is just getting started and he already has people siding with him. If only liberals left him to do his job. It shows for a fact that the fake news media is a bunch of liars. He works his hardest to make America great again. It is truly despicable the way that the media finds it appropriate to bash our president constantly. Yes, freedom of speech is there, but why can't we respect the leader of our nation? The leader of the free world deserves respect. If someone disagrees with you, it doesn't mean that you insult and attack them. You just have a different opinion. Trump keeps on winning. What do you think of all of this?